Hi. In just a few moments, we'll be discussing and analyzing 4 core values of Jewish Colorado. They are personal commitment, positive attitude, teamwork, and work-life integration. These values are not just important for the valuable work that you do on behalf of Jewish Colorado, but they're also deeply rooted in Jewish tradition. I'd like to share a few ideas with you that will put some of these values in the proper context. When the Jewish people were in the land of Egypt, Pharaoh was told by his astrologers that there will be born a male child that will eventually lead the Jewish people out of Egypt. Needless to say, Pharaoh was very wary, and he made a rule that any male child that was born was meant to be killed on the spot. There were 2 women who single-handedly saved the Jewish people by defying Pharaoh's decree. They were midwives that decided, even though Pharaoh said that they would be punished by death for not killing the Jewish boys, they were going to allow them to live anyway. And the Torah tells us that these 2 women were named Shifra and Puah. But our commentators tell us that Shifra and Puah were none other than Yocheved and Miriam, Moses' mother and sister. Why then does the Torah not describe them and identify them by their true names? The commentators tell us that the Shifra was given her name because she beautified the baby. And Puah was given her name because she cooed to the baby to make the baby calm and to soothe the baby. The question is obvious though. If the Torah is not going to identify them by their true names, and the Torah is going to give them a nickname that describes what they did, why not give them a name that describes the fact they put their lives on the line? The fact that they did something truly heroic? Why describe something that seems so insignificant, something so petty? What the Torah is teaching us is that we mark great people by the small things that they do. This is an important lesson for all of us. When we go through life and we're trying to focus on the important things, we're trying to do big things in our lives and big things in our community, we cannot forget the small things, the small details, because it's those small details that truly show our greatness. The Almighty tells Abraham that his children will be like the sand on the seashore. What is that supposed to mean? If you look at Jewish history, we've always been small in number. In fact, the Torah itself predicts and tells us that throughout our history, we will always remain small. So what does God mean when he tells Abraham his children will be like the sand on the seashore? The answer is that the sand is not just describing the quantity of the Jewish people, rather it's describing our quality. Each grain of sand by itself is insignificant. Yet, when you pile sand up together, then it's something powerful. The same is true with the Jewish people. The Jewish people are made up of many different individuals. When we work collectively as a group, when we put the powers that each and every one of us has together, we can accomplish something truly incredible. But look at the analogy more carefully. God compares us specifically to grains of sand. Sand is unique in that although it is making up this greater entity, each and every grain of sand retains its individual identity. If you pick up a thing of sand, grains will slowly start seeping through your fingertips. The reason for that is that even though they seem to be connected, they're separate. The same is true with the Jewish people. Each and every one of the Jewish people is special and unique. And each and every one of us maintains our own personal identity and can bring our strengths and skills to make this world a better place. The Jewish people throughout time have always celebrated the rights of individuals, celebrated the rights of minorities. Yet if you look at the entire Torah, you will not find a single mention of a right. Look at 2 children, one celebrating Halloween and the other celebrating Purim. Each child at the end of the day ends up with a wonderful bag of candy. Amazing, great. But where was their focus? The child celebrating Halloween walked around door to door asking people, taking. Yet the child celebrating Purim went around door to door giving. One child spent his day giving, the other child spent his day taking. They end up with the same result, but where was their focus? This is the reason why the Torah always focuses on obligation and never focuses on rights. You will not find a single right mentioned in the Torah. It's not because we don't have rights, but rather it's because the Torah is trying to make us into givers. It's trying to tell us that we need to focus our energies on giving, not on taking. Let's go through our lives focusing on what I can do for other people, how I can give. And the irony of that situation is by focusing on what I can give, I will get the most out of life. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.